For me, printing has always been part of my creative process. In the days of film, printing was essential, of course, as the negative needed to be printed in order to create a physical image. Photography, though, has come a long way since the days of film, but one thing that hasn't changed is the importance of printing. The choice of fine art printing papers has become an increasingly important aspect of the photographic printing process. As photographers, we are constantly seeking ways to enhance our creative vision and bring our images to life. The right fine art printing paper can make all the difference in how our photographs are perceived by others. I guess gone are the days of photographers being restricted to using glossy or matte papers, which didn't offer much in terms of texture and depth. Today I'm going to talk to you about the new Canson Infinity ARCHES 88 cotton rag paper. Now, whenever we choose a paper for printing, there is a couple of things that we need to consider. Number one, of course, is surface texture, because texture can add an artistic appearance to your images. Too much texture can interfere with the subject matter, especially if prints are small. A slight texture, however, can add an element of interest. Now, with ARCHES 88, of course, it is extremely smooth, which means that any fine detail is really gonna stand out. The other thing to consider when choosing a paper is the base color itself. Is it cool, is it neutral, or is it warm? And the last thing to consider is the archival properties of the paper. Now, for a paper to be 100% archival, it must be acid-free, and it must be a cotton or rag base. It must also be free from optical brightening additives, or as we know, OBAs. So Canson ARCHES 88, it is neutral, it is bright, it is smooth, and is 100% free of OBAs. Now I'm going to share one of my wedding images and why I picked ARCHES 88 as the paper of choice. This portrait of a bride for me captures the beauty and grace of a moment in time. And what attracted me to this spot in the first place was just this beautiful soft window light that was just streaming across this very long corridor. That soft light illuminating her face created this sense of warmth and serenity. The angle of the light was extremely important because it accentuated this beautiful texture of the dress. And from that point, I could already envision the final print. So I automatically thought, well, I need a paper that is going to be smooth enough so that the beautiful detail shine forward, if you like. Also, I wanted a paper that was bright enough to allow for that dress just to be luminous in this incredible sort of dark surroundings. The paper of choice, of course, was ARCHES 88. One of the advantages, of course, of printing on an extremely neutral paper is that the colours aren't being distorted by the base colour of the paper itself. So we're going to get nice, beautiful, clean whites, which is what I wanted with this particular image. From the original capture, not a lot was done to the file itself to get it ready for print. I wanted, of course, those highlights to really shine through and to subtly darken the background ever so slightly. A little bit of colour grading, and that was it. It was perfect and ready for print. ARCHES 88 has become my go-to paper for a lot of my wedding prints that end up on clients' walls. Number one, it is a matte surface, and that's great, especially if the image is going to be framed behind glass. Considering, of course, that geometry of light and how it's hitting the glass, sometimes you don't want double reflection. So having a glossy paper or a luster paper can be problematic in viewing the image properly. So the matte paper is just perfect. Number two is the base colour being extremely neutral. That means that the colours are going to be true colours. Sometimes we have subtleties in shades of white of a wedding dress and brights can be extremely particular. So we want to be able to reproduce those correctly. But even sometimes with colours of flowers, hues of suits, whether we're looking at dark colours like the navies are going to be reproduced correctly. So the true colour, the matte finish, and of course the brightness of the paper, allowing us to print these beautiful luminous highlights, making the dress almost three-dimensional. Canson Arch 88, 100% cotton base, cylinder mold made, ultra smooth surface finish with a soft and supple feel to touch, making it very luxurious. Pure white tone, superb colour rendition, deep blacks and beautiful natural whites. The perfect match between your file and your paper will allow you to express your creative vision in a very powerful way.